Hello, everybody. I am Becky from Northampton Film Festival. I don't know who is going to the Cannes Film Festival right now because outside my window is absolutely gorgeous. I keep getting bathed in sun. So, who needs Cannes? Come to Northampton. That's what we say. But today, if you're joining us live, we are talking to filmmakers who've been shortlisted for Northampton Film Festival 2023. If you're not watching it live, you might have missed the screenings. But still, we're keen. Obviously, we'll be keeping in touch with the filmmakers from the film festival. And so if you're wanting to find out what they're up to after Northampton Film Festival in the future, please check out our website, northamptonfilmfestival.co.uk, where we'll have news about the previous year's shortlists. Without going on even more, I would like to introduce the filmmaker that we have with us today. So we have Joshy Lee, who is the writer and director of Boy in the Corner, the drama feature film that we're showing on the Saturday of Northampton Film Festival. Thank you for joining us, Joshy.
No worries. Thank you for having me. And thank you for choosing Boy in the Corner for your festival as well. Really honoured.
Yeah, no, it's great. I've really enjoyed it. I'm not a judge, so I always like to say that when I say how much I enjoy the films of these, because I don't get to choose who wins. But it's a great film. And can you tell us a little bit about the film? What will people expect when they come see
it? So Boy in the Corner is a coming of age social drama that focuses on the environment and the potential situations that could lead a young person down the life of crime, or more specifically, into putting a knife in their hands. So it really does kind of focus on knife crime, poverty, gang culture in like peer pressure, and just follows a character called Miles, who's played by Siren Vergara. You can see him there. You just follow along in this personal story on his current situation, I don't really want to give anything away, but yeah.
No, it's good not to give things away. But it was interesting, because we were just talking beforehand. You said that when you started out making this film, it was going to be something totally different. So tell us a little bit about kind of the journey of the film and how it came about.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I would put myself in the bracket of a social drama filmmaker, or a political filmmaker or anything like that. But you just kind of go where the stories go, I guess. But it started off as a lot more of a Saturday night thriller. Won't go too much of that. And then through research, we just started to realize that, there's a lot more to gang culture and what can kind of entice, or can kind of in most cases force someone down that path, and being involved in that, whether it be home life, school life, and just wanting to have some form of a role model. And unfortunately, it's normally in these cases a negative role model. And
yeah, absolutely. I was
yeah, Karen, sorry,
we've got a horrible delay because of my awful internet. So we're not friends, everyone watching. There's just a delay. Where there's a big pause, we don't talk to each other. But I was actually listening to the radio yesterday about the situation in I think it was New Orleans they were looking at, where again lots of young. I know that's quite different to where we are both based, but particularly young men that haven't had that positive role model, and also therefore wanted to fill that role where they want to provide for the family when the family doesn't have resources, and what that can do,
exactly,
and the spiral of that kind of situation. And so you were saying, we were talking earlier a bit about how this was developed, and talking to kind of charities, and as you say, you didn't set out to be kind of a social realism filmmaker.
No, like I mean, we'd done a short film before called Eye for an Eye, and that was more about like the actual the like direct effects after an incident of knife crime. And when looking through the analytics and just looking into what parts of the video on YouTube that was most viewed, there was a huge spike on the knifing scene, and we thought we'd done a really good job. And I still think we did, and lots of people, you know, were grateful for that. And we did partner with some charities on that one as well, and some local organizations. But we just realized that it needs to. We're still, even when trying not to glamorize it, we're still glamorizing it in a way, and that's the bit that people kept going to. So we had to really just turn it on its head and try and come up with another way to kind of showcase this, which still has the horrors, but doesn't have or glamorize the violence, I think is the best way to put it. So we partnered with local charities called the Holly Gazard Trust and Increase the Peace, and they do amazing stuff locally in Gloucester. And one of the members from Increase the Peace is called Alfie Baker, and we worked really closely with him. And the character in the film, Deverne, is largely based on him and what he does for the community and with young people and trying to get them off the streets. So yeah.
Well, yeah, it's interesting actually. We've just been doing a competition actually with an organisation called Off the Streets NN, based here, to give them some free tickets to this film screening for
awesome.
identifying knife amnesty. Yeah, to identify knife amnesty bins that they're putting up around the county and stuff, and the work that they do. So yeah, because it's so difficult, and I think it's really difficult in film to be authentic, but also obviously sometimes the authenticity is that obviously some young people might be drawn in by the glamour of seeing other people in this lifestyle and all that kind of stuff, and it's really difficult, I think, to balance as a filmmaker, trying to tell a story that is going to grip people and the reality.
Yeah, it was a very fine line to kind of bounce between, of like you also want to create something that's entertaining because it's a film. You want people to sit down and not just be preached at for an hour and a half. You do want them to have a level of enjoyment out of it, but at the same time you are also preaching at them, and you don't want it to, you can't be saying things that aren't realistic, so you're also trying to find that level of realism, and then with realism comes authenticity. So it's like, okay, so how can we be authentic? And it was just pushing us into this corner. And yeah, and I mean, like, a lot of it came down to like casting as well. Like for years I didn't know who this person was, or who this character was, or whatever, and it wasn't until I worked with Siren a few times, and then as I just saw him like becoming this amazing young actor, and I just realized it was in front of me the whole time. And then his sister in the film is his real sister, so that's why they've got such great chemistry. And then I wanted to have this friend group, and then again was looking originally to cast young people and trying to make them friends and do these chemistry tests, but then just realized again, like, no, just ask Siren, like, let's audition your friends. And he had a YouTube channel at the time called Outcast, and they were so funny, and they would just make these little skit videos and short films and stuff on YouTube, and they were just so perfect for it. It was just those kind of things where it's just like, those little like jigsaw pieces that just falling out the sky, and you don't really realize them at first. You're just like, oh my god, like this works and this works, and here this is, and that's kind of how it all kind of built together. But yeah, it's just knowing where to look, and yeah, and it was also like just perfect timing as well. Like it was just after COVID, which was difficult. It was I think it was August 2020 when we shot. So literally kind of like just after the craziness, and trying to navigate all that as well. And then we couldn't push it. We had to shoot in the summer. And we knew that if we left it another year to shoot in 2021, Siren and his friends would be too old, and it'd be a completely different kind of film. So it was almost like this long, nice period of finding this film, and then all of a sudden it was like, all guns blazing. We got to go. We got to get this done. We've got, a month to put all these things together and get on set. So yeah, it was a crazy experience, but wouldn't change it.
Absolutely, and you're right about the performances really come across as being great, and they do really feel like totally authentic. Like a lot of well, I'm not giving anything away, but chatting with judges and stuff, you know, a few of them kind of said it, you know, it really just felt very real, which is entirely what you were trying to do. And tell us a little bit more about the kind of process of filmmaking, like how big was your crew, how long did it take, all that kind of stuff.
So we were it was 19 shooting days. We shot throughout August 2020. I think we maybe had about I'd say anywhere from 12 to 15 crew members. And like the cinematographer that we work with, Tomasz Meda, is absolutely incredible, and he's doing some amazing stuff now. And we were so lucky to nab him when we could. And he brought on like a team of his people, and like his focus puller. He brought on the sound guy as well, another Tomasz, which is baffling. But they were amazing. And yeah, it's the same thing with like any kind of film set, which everyone would agree with that's been on one, is you don't really need any time. You just get on a film, you all have this one common goal, and then you just build this camaraderie of, let's get this done, and you all just become best mates within like 5 minutes. And it was the same with that, and it was such a nice, like, even with having the boys, especially on the days when we were filming with them, it was such a nice breath of fresh air, because we're filming these, you know, it's not fun scenes to film. Sometimes it is quite emotional and kind of difficult to navigate and control the sets and whatnot. But yeah, and then we'd have the boys on, and they just be there having fun in the corner, and you just realize that you're all just kids. You're playing this game. You're doing what you want to do, and it was nice having that little refresher with them on set. No, it was lovely.
Yeah, great. And I mean, can you tell us a little bit actually about your journey as a filmmaker? Did you always know that you wanted to direct?
So this is my 10th year now of making films. So I started when I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was 16. I can't remember to say this, but I started when I watched Transformers 2. And I realized that it just a little click in my head where it was like, oh my God, someone has chosen or decided how those robots are fighting right now, and that sounds amazing. And I started looking into it. I was thinking about CGI at first, and then realized that the CG artists, as amazing as they are, they don't really get to have the decisions of how they interact and whatnot. And then just realized that, well, Michael Bay is the director. He's the one who said yes and no to everything. And then just went down this rabbit hole, and then just realized it just clicked in my head, and I haven't been able to turn it off since. It's just this drive to want to tell stories and be on film sets. But yeah, and then I went to college for a couple of years, and then dropped out, and I've just been producing my own stuff since, really. Short films, music videos, just trying to meet as many people and work on as many different projects as possible, just to broaden my knowledge and just meet cool people.
Yeah, totally. That is kind of what it's about, really, isn't it? It's really interesting. Yeah, you're saying that you kind of watching a film and then suddenly realizing, oh, every single thing in that film is someone's job or has been made a decision of. And finding like, oh, I'd love to make a decision about that, could be your thing. We're always, working with young people and kind of going, there's so many different jobs and things you could be doing, and you can make this really weird thing your whole living.
Yeah, I know. And it was that little click which just sent me on this journey. But yeah.
Right. Well, just last question, I think. What is next for you?
Oh, that is a very good question. I'm still working that out. There's lots of different. I'm working with a few writers at the moment on some stuff. I just worked as the director of photography on another feature film called Mellow Drive. Lots of different things. I again, it's just that thing of just keep my eyes open for projects and people that I want to work with and work on. But I do have some ideas, but I don't think there would be another social drama. But again, I didn't think there would be this one, and it just happened. So we'll see.
Yeah. Who knows? Wherever, again, like you say, it's wherever you find the story, isn't it? It's that thing that goes,
exactly.
that got to tell that.
Yeah, just waiting for something to grab me, and that'll be the next one.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining me today and have a little chat about Boy in the Corner.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We are showing Boy in the Corner on Saturday, 27th of May, 5 o'clock at Northampton Film House as part of Northampton Film Festival. If you want to have a look at the programme, you can do so by going on our listings website, which is northamptonfilmfestival.eventive.org. And we hopefully will see lots of